Hey you! Yes, you! I see you over there. And you thought you couldn't get away from my update videos. Screw you, buddy boy. Because it's about time I finally tell you what's going on. So, for the past few weeks, I have been kind of at the mercy of my holiday homework. You may have known this for a while if you've been a close friend of mine, because I would have said this like a quadrillion times by now on Discord. But since you guys are clearly not my personal friends and are random viewers coming in, not to say that's a bad thing, I'm just stating the obvious here, then you obviously wouldn't know what's going on. And to sum it up, here's the crap I've been doing. Yeah, it's still not done, by the way. I'm still doing the analysis on the homework, but at least now it's not a complete dumpster fire, and it'll be done in at least a day. At least I'm recording this, which is literally like 9:30 p.m. I've been doing the homework for about 3 hours straight again. Anyway, this video is just going to be very small. It's not intended to be massive, and it's just showing off the things I've got planned and have been working on recently with my projects to say, hey, they aren't dead. Because I know a lot of people are thinking they're dead right now. No, they are not. They are just in a weird state of unorganization. So let me just go through every one of them, every single one of them, starting with, of course, the Backrooms Revisited, because that one I've been wanting to get out for ages by now. First off, I'm working on level 2 and 3 overhauls at the moment. Or, not 2 and 3, sorry. 1 and 2, because technically 3 is still being made. I haven't made much progress on it at all, because I've been focused on rehauling the game first. Or overhauling it, because the game was just horrible before I started overhauling it. Like, level 0 was just basic. And then I brung in the new update, and level 0 became actually playable, at least in my eyes. It wasn't just some small, easily exploitable place. But anyway, with that being said, to make up for the empty hole that is the release between the new level 1 makeover, because the Backrooms Wiki got a recent new overhaul of the level 1 that makes it entirely different from what it used to be, I will have in the level select a option to choose the classic version of level 1 if you wanted to, and that still takes you to level 2, so don't worry about that, that will stay the same. So if you want to play from level 1 classic, then you're more than welcome to do that, trust me. I am not restricting that, because I made them 2 separate Roblox files, so don't worry about that, I got you covered. But to fill in the gap, I have introduced level -1. I would have started with level -0, however, that is a really high level to make. So I'll backlog onto it once I manage to figure out what the hell level -0 is supposed to be. Because if you're gonna tell me that I can create a game out of this image, or sorry, a level in a game from this image, you are wrong. Because I'm not AI. I'm a human. I can't do that. Unless someone explained the context of this image properly, instead of saying, oh, it's level -0, like, what am I supposed to do with this? But, yeah, here's just an image of what level -1 looks like if you haven't already seen it. I'm not going to show any gameplay footage of it. I originally was going to, but the spoilers, I'm not going to do that. But so instead, enjoy some beta footage of level 1. The new overhaul, because it's very interesting, and I feel like you guys should at least see it a little bit. I'm gonna stop using I'm gonna try and stop using guys. Honestly, that term's been overused to hell and back. But I'm just gonna let you watch it from now. Yeah, hopefully you like it. Okay, so I've been working on this particular level for about 3 to 5 days, I guess. It's not too long actually, and most of the development time has just gone to developing new functions and things that you can do, such as crouching. The sprinting is being overhauled slightly. I still can't find a better way to improve it for any people that play outside the US, so that's kind of a problem. Unless regional servers were added, then that issue would be completely fixed, but no, because I realized that the script itself, it calls to the server to run, or the server side to run a script so that the player can run on server side, so that there's no localization issues. But that's like the only way I've figured out how to. I don't know. It's really hard to get sprint to work properly in Roblox, as far as I've seen. Anyway, that's actually all I have to say about the Backrooms Revisited. So, from the thumbnail's order, I'm going to go next to Phantom Madness, because this is a really interesting state, and I feel like a lot of people are interested to know why this project has been so clueless. Don't worry, I know exactly what I'm doing with the series, and I have my stuff. If you look closely at the thumbnail, you see something very interesting. Yeah. Spoilers. But don't worry, I've already released the script for episode 1. Go in the description if you want to view it. It's been out for quite some time on my working in progress website that I created for a school project. I'm probably planning on discontinuing it because I just don't have the time to work on it, and plus it's kind of bad, to be honest. It's going to be really hard to develop for if I plan on keeping it up to date. But anyway, enough being said. Just to show you that I'm still animating things casually, and I will be animating a lot more in the next coming days once the holiday homework and stuff stops coming in bugging me. So here you go. Have some footage of some animation I started working on to showcase my fighting animation skill potential. Here you go. Yes, it is still very working in progress. The visuals are not complete, and the fluidity of the camera is obviously not complete either. It's just it's mainly just to show the character animation itself, and nothing else. It's basically dirt simple as that. And ever since the date on screen, I haven't worked on it. Then that was the last time the video got modified, to be exact. As for the opening for Phantom Madness, I have this proper script for it. I know exactly what I'm going to be doing for each shot, and I believe if I go into one of my Discord channels where I posted it a really long time ago from my iPad notes, I believe I do actually have more than 5 shots to use from it, but that will obviously be divided. Yes, here we go. I have 7 scenes. One of them is a bonus scene. I'm not going to show you the script because if so, that's spoilers, and episode 1 doesn't really matter since it's just the building ground for everything else. And again, that's a draft. It's not the official, from what I know. That might be changed later on, who knows. It's probably going to stay similar to that, don't worry. I know Martin will probably be watching this and is probably holding me at gunpoint to not change anything, because if I do, then it would probably be too similar to his. His video will be in the description, by the way, don't worry. I am not prepared to get shot tonight. Anyway, I'm going to be redoing the opening, because I did make progress on the opening for a bit, but then I stopped working on it because I realized that canonically the opening makes no sense. The intro sequence just didn't work as much as I intended it. Scene 1 was a complete flop because the characters, like, I'll show you on screen here whilst I'm talking since there's no audio either. My animations don't have audio unless I add them in post, for obvious reasons. You can see here that they go in willingly, which is obviously not right. If you read the episode 1 script, you'll know that they get sucked in from... The Phantom Ruby does some shenanigans that the characters didn't want. They didn't intend this to happen, so for them to go in willingly doesn't make sense. So I'm rewriting it to make it more, obvious, making it less disjointed, if that makes any sense. Hopefully this goes well, because this page document I wrote literally at 12:40 a.m. on Wednesday, the 20th of Jan. That's what it says on my iPad, from what I know. So, yeah, I wrote that script quite a bit ago from when I'm recording this now, but that was for future reference, and it seemed like it's worked so far. But yeah, I don't have much else to say about Phantom Madness actually. There might be more stuff later on, but all I can tell you right now is that I'm 100% prepared for the visuality to be insane, because not only have I been working on my Adobe After Effects skills quite a bit, but also I've got about 70 sheets of sprite effects I'm gonna probably use, and that's not including the objects themselves within the sprites, or the sprite sheet, I should say. It's not including the sprites themselves, which probably very, very, very differ from each sprite sheet. There could be like heaps in one and like only 3 in one other. But enough about sprite sheets. It's time for Sonic Xtreme Roblox. The game is nearly complete in my eyes. Just a few more adjustments, and hopefully, if I can get a proper physics framework in, that would be nice. I'm not the best at making physics, or anything that's very advanced in the Roblox engine. I could barely figure out how to manipulate the gravity controller. I could barely figure out how that worked for TBR's gravity controller test, and even that test probably won't be used until very late in TBR's development, because I know I will be using the controller at some point, so there will be gravity manipulation in TBR. But enough about that. For Sonic Xtreme Roblox, I think the only changes I need to do is add in more rings and collectibles, obviously, since there's only 2 at spawn. Don't worry, in the Roblox project file itself, I've added a whopping 2 more. I seriously need to figure out a better way of adding rings, because the script system I have in place for them is not very good. It's awful. Spoiler alert, it's very awful. I'm not going to show you the scripts, because they're literal spaghetti code and they'll make everyone look at me like a goddamn idiot. But anyway, that's about it. Add more collectibles, fix the loop. The loop model is god awful. I need to fix that so bad. And I need to add a loop model here. So for now, I've pulled an early Sonic Xtreme Unity and added in this little platform that, pushes you to the other side, or not pushes you, but elevates you high enough so that you can land on the end part. But even then, there is no end code script yet, which I'll probably add soon. It'll probably just end up killing you and then resetting the stage. I'm assuming that's probably what it would do. But of course, in a less dramatic way. Instead, it will just kill you off, and like silently. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's happening with Sonic Xtreme much, because I'm more focusing on TBR and certainly more on Phantom Madness, since I need more of that time allocated to Phantom Madness more than I do for TBR. Because as much as I really like TBR, there isn't much time I can put into it, because, well, I already know what I'm doing with it. It's simple as that. And, well, the more time I put into it, the more stressed that I'll get on it. Over it. As for Phantom Madness, if I put more time into that, I feel more rewarded, because the output of the reward is much higher, because overall, not only am I learning how to finally rig, that's the one thing I struggled with all the way back in, last year when I first started animating in March. I tried to learn rigging straight away and completely died in trying to. Trust me, I'm not the best rigger, but fingers crossed I can get that sorted. Because I've been doing a lot of experimenting recently. Fingers crossed, I know what I'm goddamn doing when making rigs, because every rig I've made in the past has looked like an abomination, and luckily I've not saved any screenshots of that. Hey, hi, hello, it's me from the future. So I did do a recording of the FAQ, however, it was only 2 questions and it was very awkward, so I'm going to redo that section. First off, fan projects. Regarding fan projects that are similar to mine, I would like to address how good they are. So, of course, I've already mentioned Ivy's episode 1 fan. Oh, I was about to say my name again. I did that twice. I did it now when I did it in the last recording. I meant to say that in Freedom Fighters. There we go. I don't know why I struggle to say that so much. It's so easy to say, and it's literally a reference to Sat AM. Good job. You're smart. You're cultured. I don't know if that was a intentional thing, but if it was intentional, then I figured it out. It wasn't too hard, even if I haven't watched the show. But whatever. Um, put it simply, it's amazing so far. I don't know what episode 2 will look like because nothing has been released yet outside of, oh, I did the thing! I did the animation! I spent 5 months working on it and half of it nearly got deleted. Sorry, I meant all of it. I feel bad for him, man. He had to... I think he nearly had a heart attack. Of course, mentally, not physically, but whatever. And as for the Backrooms Rebirth, I played it quite recently. It's really good. Both projects that I've just mentioned are really good and are in the description. I recommend checking them out. I highly suggest checking them out, honestly. They're great. But that's it for the first part that I only did. Now for the second part, the additions to the FAQ that I was planning on doing, the ones that people are actually asking me about. So first off, is anything on my channel going to be monetized, or any of the projects that I'm doing? Absolutely not. The reason? Quite simple. You didn't come here for ads. You didn't come here to be smashed with money. You came here to watch something I created. All of this is for passion and nothing else. I mean, if I were to get paid, it would be through something like Patreon, not through YouTube, because adpocalypse, and I'm not planning on making YouTube my full-time job or anything anytime soon, since I know how unstable it can be. And even if I could, I probably wouldn't, but that's probably just me. Anyway, no, nothing is monetized or anything like that, unless I use a copyrighted song. Then I have no choice but to make it monetized for that specific copyright handler. But then again, I would have given credit to them in the first place, so it wouldn't have mattered much anyway. Now then, here comes the part that I just figured out recently, something that I've been asked quite a bit ago, but haven't really talked about much at all. Will my projects become open source once they're finished? Absolutely. My projects, I've always wanted them to be open source on something like GitHub, so that everyone can just like reuse the assets and make their own things out of it, figure out how other professionals do stuff. I'm no professional by any means, but if there's anything that interested you in animation regards, or video game scripting and stuff like that, then you're more than welcome to look at my projects. Because once they're complete, they'll be open source. The Backrooms Revisited, Sonic Xtreme Roblox, my Phantom Madness series, when those projects are completed, they will become open source periodically on GitHub. I'll link my GitHub page in the description if you want to go see that. My github.com, not to be confused with my github.io page. But I've only got one repository up at the moment, and it's super simple, so there's nothing to do with the projects that I mentioned so far, since none of them are open source, unless you go to my website and see the Sonic Xtreme Roblox and TBR files, which are out of date. I've got to update those like really badly. I've added a lot more files to Sonic Xtreme Roblox and TBR ever since then, so I got to go and update that, but that won't be for a while. And that's actually about it. That's all the things I can think about. So thanks for watching, I guess, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!